You need to listen to me, and you need to listen closely because the message coming out of Hallis Hall right now is loud, it is clear, and for some of you, it might be a little terrifying. Ben Johnson just looked the entire city of Chicago in the eye and said the 3 words you never want to hear after a playoff run: back. 2-0. Caleb Williams is evolving, the roster is shifting, and the Bears are about to make decisions that will define the next decade of this franchise, including one massive trade that feels more real by the minute. If you want the raw, unfiltered truth about your Chicago Bears every single day, do me a favor right now. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's keep this community growing. Let's get real. Ben Johnson didn't sugarcoat anything in his year-end presser. You would think after the season we just had, there'd be victory laps. There'd be pats on the back. Nope. Johnson made it crystal clear, the Chicago Bears are back to square one. And before you panic, understand what he means. This isn't about failure. It's about the brutal reality of the NFL. He said it point blank. There is no building off of this. You don't just get to carry over wins. You don't get to start next September with a lead. It's a wake-up call. Just because the offense clicked this year, just because the vibe was electric, that guarantees absolutely nothing for next season unless they restart the process. Every team is back at 0-0. That is the beauty of this league. But man, is it also the challenge. It means the work starts now. The acquisitions, the OTAs, the grind, it all resets. So, are you ready to climb that mountain again, or are we going to rest on our laurels and get punched in the mouth? Ryan Poles is already staring down the barrel of some massive roster decisions. We know the big questions: who stays? Who goes? Who do we chase? One name that kept coming up: Kevin Byard. Poles didn't even try to hide it. He admitted there is mutual interest in bringing the veteran safety back. But here's the catch: literally all 4 safeties are hitting free agency. It's a clean slate. But if you're reading the tea leaves like I am, it sounds like if it comes down to Kevin Byard or Jaquan Brisker, the priority is leaning heavily toward Byard. But let's talk about the guy who actually moves the needle. Caleb Williams. If there was ever any doubt about who runs this town, Ben Johnson crushed it. He called himself Caleb's #1 believer. And looking at the growth we saw, can you blame him? We saw Caleb at the Blackhawks game, we saw him at the Bulls game, just taking a breath. And he deserves it. Because the leap he took this year was legitimate. Was it perfect? No. But Johnson and Williams are on the exact same page about the offseason fix, footwork, and accuracy. Caleb said it himself. When his feet are right, he is deadly. And that's the scary part for the rest of the league. If Caleb Williams, who is already making magic happen, tightens up his mechanics and jumps from a 60% completion passer to a 66% passer, you are looking at a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Period. Ben Johnson thinks he's going to be special for a long time. I'm sitting here telling you, my confidence level is through the roof. I'm at a 9 out of 10. The pieces are there. The system is there. Now, he just has to take that year 3 leap. But we have to talk about the bad news. And it is bad. Ryan Poles dropped a hammer on the injury front. The news on Ozzy Trapilo is heartbreaking. We finally get confirmation that he underwent surgery on that torn patellar tendon, and guys, the timeline is dark. Poles wouldn't commit to a return date, but he hinted it could go deep into next season. We have to be honest with ourselves. We might not see Ozzy until 2027. It's a bummer because he was finally locking down that left tackle spot. So now, the scramble begins. You've got Theo Benedict, who will be back. Maybe you look at a guy like Kieran Amagaji to step up and compete again. But I'm telling you, they have to go outside the building. Is it a veteran swing tackle? Do you go look at a name like Kem Robinson? I don't know, But you cannot leave Caleb Williams' blindside unprotected while we wait for Ozzy to heal. And the injury list didn't stop there. Noah Sewell. Surgery on a torn Achilles. His training camp is in serious doubt. But on the flip side, we got some positive updates on guys like Shamar Turner and Deo Odimbo rehabbing well. And kudos to Jordan McFadden. That guy fought through a busted ankle to play left guard in the finale. That is the kind of grit you build a culture on. Then there's the curious case of Zach Frazier. Poles was blunt. He's healthy, he's back from that non-injury medical situation, but he is facing an uphill battle. He was a 5th-round pick, he missed time, and nothing is guaranteed. He's going to have to fight tooth and nail for a roster spot against a crowded room. But now, we have to address the elephant in the room. The most polarizing topic in Chicago right now. DJ Moore. Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson were asked about him, and the answers were interesting. Poles said he doesn't care about the stats being down. He cares that DJ is a winner. He praised his toughness, playing through injuries, setting a standard. Ben Johnson called him a huge contributor. But when asked about the exit interview, Johnson deflected. Here is my read on this. 2 things can be true. The Bears can love DJ Moore the person and the competitor, and they can still be actively looking to trade him. You don't go to the podium and trash a guy you're trying to move. You don't pull a Buffalo Bills and call your receiver a bum before putting him on the block. You pump up his value. You talk about his leadership. So, I'm putting this directly to you, the fans. This is the question of the day, and I want you to sound off in the comments right now. Should the Bears trade DJ Moore this offseason? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Think about the cap space. Think about the roles for Rome Oduns and Luther Burden increasing. If you can get value and clear $28 million off the books. I think the answer is probably yes. But I want to know what you think. Look, at the end of the day, both Poles and Johnson finished these pressers with a message to you, the fans. They felt the energy at Soldier Field. They know you have been starving for a winner. They know you showed up when things were miserable, and you blew the roof off the place when things got magical. But we have seen this movie before. We remember 2018. One magical year, and then a slide back into mediocrity. That cannot happen again. That is why square one is the right mentality. We can't just hope it carries over, we have to take it. The city is ignited. The quarterback is in place. The window is wide open. Now, we just have to trust that Ryan Poles is going to push the right buttons to keep it that way. I'm fired up to see what happens next. Make sure you are locked in here because as soon as the news breaks, we will have it for you. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's get ready for a wild off-season. Bear down.